Hello everyone, this is a voiceover recording analysis slash commentary of a match, a Salotto match reported to Fargo with myself, Sean Lewis. My Fargo at time of this is 664, I think, and Ray Pistoresi, and he's a mid 500 level Fargo. So race to 9 ball. So we're doing alternate break, race to 9. We're just getting started. I have not hit a single ball on the table. So I'm just going to use a little bit of right English to make the cue ball go above the 6, but not so high to be super tough. Then I can play forward to the side rail or just punch straight up. I may have gotten 2 streep on this, so maybe I'm going to try to draw 2 rails. So cloth is pretty new, it's a little bit slidey, I'm noticing. I typically play on more worn cloth, so I'm not quite used to it. It kind of changes what you have to do in some situations, because it seems like the ball doesn't roll as far when the cloth is slidier. But you can get more a stroke. So here I think I'm just going to play low right English. And I was trying to draw above the ball. But like I said, with the slidiness, it doesn't grab right away. I was trying to draw that ball because I ended up almost straight in. So I like this angle. You can play it just straight back up table, straight at the 7 to keep the line. Another way you could play it is like underneath the ball, and then you just use draw to kind of get the same line. You should just roll forward here. Trickled it in. All right, 1-0. A dry break. A little bit of an awkward queuing situation. With the 2 being behind the 4 and the 7, I don't know if this is really a likely offensive situation. Could try to take the shot with left and high ball and go 2 rails, 3 rails maybe, to try to get short side on the 2. Not sure that you're going to get the grip that you need with the slidey cloth. So here I'm just trying to play 2 rails, go between the 5 and the rail to get straight in on the 2. Came up a little bit short of what I was trying for. Ideally, I wanted to be on the rail so that I could bump the 7 away from the 4. I'm looking at the window between the 9 and the 7 to make the 4 on the side. A little punch forward. Trying to draw to an exact spot. To play the 4 in the side, and then the cue ball will go forward into the rail and back out for the 5. Overdrew it. So now I'm just playing safety here. Trying to thin the 4 and then send the cue ball behind the 8. I'm hoping to use the 7 to block the hole. If I leave the shot. Hit it too full, so cue ball went wide, and then the 4 bounced and left a shot on the side. If I was trying to hit it thinner so there was no side pocket shot available. Here I think you can draw, or maybe just use high ball here to go 1 rail down to the side rail and back, or to the end rail and back. Just like that, just needed it to just touch lower on the cue ball. I'm not sure if he's trying to draw to play the 6 in the corner where the 7 is, or just overcut it and then made the cue ball go out. I thought he was going to play for the bottom left-hand corner. Pretty good shot. Not sure if it goes in the side so easily. Shooting it all the way down here is pretty good. You can just play top and right. Just got to bear down to make this ball. I did notice with the light coming in through the window, there's a little bit of struggle seeing the pockets on this side of the table, for me at least. I'm not sure if it came down to that or that was why he missed. So I think I just have to roll this in. Oh, just punch down, yeah. So the score's 1-1. Ray makes the ball. I think playing with high inside here is okay, but with the slidey cloth, it doesn't seem like you can get the grip that you need to get the English to hold to make it run further. So I like to play this with like one rail kick, because it's the one is close to the rail, and that gives you extra velocity for the cue ball. Just came up a little bit short. So I like to play safety here, cutting the 2 towards the middle of the table on the end rail and letting the cue ball go to the side rail besides the 6, and then to the end rail. And you can use the 5, 7, and 9 as blockers. And if it leaks out, then you have the distance. So here I'm just going to cut the cue ball to the right and then play behind the 9 and the 7. So I like shooting the jump shot here. It's a little bit far. You could kick at it. One rail to the end rail and back down. There's no kick from below. Almost got over it. So here I'm going to play short side on the 2, shoot the 4 on the side, and then play for the 5-9 combo. So I'm just trying to determine the exact spot I want to be to shoot the 5-9 before I even get started with this run. Yeah, pretty good on it. It's a little bit off angle. Almost made it, but made the 5. Which, if I had made the 9, then the 5 wouldn't have gone, I don't think. So now I'm going to play this into the rail and then bump the 9 out, and that'll trap the cue ball. And bump the 9 for an easier shot in the side. Just a high ball into the rail and back out for the 8. If I'd left myself more angle, then I'd probably punch to the side rail and back out. With this, I can just go forward. Now it's just a pretty simple straight in, basically, into the side. Alright, scores 2-1. Hoping it down on the break here. Another dry break. Looks Looks like there's a little bit of an angle, so you can shoot the 1 and then play for the 2. Looks like you can play the 2 in the side. I think draw with the right English. Maybe just draw. It's hard to see the angle. So you get below the 7. Yeah, I like the draw shot. It's just a little bit. You hit it like a little bit higher on the cue ball and a little bit more power. I don't know if that would have made the shot more difficult. If you get a little bit more power, you get a little bit more of the tangent line that you wanted. Got hooked here. I like the 2-rail kick. Not sure if the speed made it go a little bit longer. If you had follow on the cue ball when you hit that and you hit it hard like that, that's going to affect the play of the speed of it. The angle, I should say. So here I'm trying to play follow to get straight in, a little bit past straight in on the 5. I came up about 3 feet short. So I could play between the 7 and the 8. That's like a punch shot. Or I could try to draw. I think I just play the punch. Just missed it. I don't know if it's the light that I'm still being affected by. I might have been a little bit frustrated. A little bit frustrated about not getting on the 5, so I shot it a little bit too quickly. Let my pre-shot routine break down there. So I'm going to try to bank the 5 down to the second diamond on the end rail and then go behind the 7. Just playing off the left side of it, that's the right shot. Just distance makes it tougher. Still trying to understand the rails here. It's my 2 rails. I'd like to shoot this ball and stay a little bit below the 8 ball so that I can play 1 rail to the side rail for the 9. Or I can just opt to draw straight up table. Three to 1. So I'm going to have to roll out here. Mostly on my rollouts, I'd like to leave like some awkward cueing along with some distance, and then ideally just leave them where there's not much offense or easy defense either, because obviously they can give it back. So if it's too difficult, then you might not be able to do it either. So here there's like a combination on the 1-3. You can carom the 3. You could bank the 1 and play safe, or you could try to make it. A lot of different things you can do here. Played the carom and made it. Now I think you have to cut this in the side. if you play offensively. Defensively, a little bit tricky. It's a pretty good shot, really. Trying to go behind the two, it looked like. So I'm trying to bank the one off the rail into the 8 or the 5 to make it. Because I can't just bank it in. Almost scratched, and then I slopped in the 8. Played that safe, and it looks like he can't hit the 1, or he's very close to not being able to hit it. If I kick at this ball, I like to kick at it 1 rail. Try to kick it to the side rail and back, and then have your cue ball. Use the 4 and the 7 as blockers, ideally. Kicking 2 rails just didn't seem like it had as much possibility. It would have been a slightly easier hit, I think. So ended up straight in on the ball. Wanted a little bit of an angle, but I also made sure to get up high enough to not be obstructed by the 9. So here I just opt to just draw straight back and leave myself a little bit of a more angle than I'd like on the 4, but there's really not much to do. And if I make that, then I can just go straight back across for the 5. Playing underneath the 9 and back to the side rail. Ideally leaving just a slight angle on the 6 so I can pop off the rail for the 7. If I get straight in, I'm going to try to draw back. The slidey cloth made that behave differently than I expected, but I ended up with the window. So here I'm trying to make it. I'm going to use draw, shoot the 7 in the side. Missed it. Not sure if I just hit the angle wrong or didn't correct properly for the squirt. Or the swerve back didn't happen. Looks to me like there I just, at the last second, turned my stroke aim. Still not quite comfortable with the cloth. Pretty good shot. Should be able to just play high ball here. Get your cue ball back to the middle of the table. Or thereabouts. Just missed it. I don't know if it's because of the lighting again or not. So he left me pretty tough on this ball, like very close to it, not much to do, so I elect to cut it to the right towards this, just towards the end rail, and then I use right English to send the cue ball 4 rails. And that worked out pretty good. Here's a thin cut. There's no bank. You can cut it to the left thinly and try to play safe, like a return safe. Another shot you could try here is a 4-rail bank with left English, and then you send your cue ball back over towards where the 9 is at. But played the double kiss there, that was cool. I was trying to play that really thin, hit it 2 full. Pretty routine here, a little bit far. So he missed it and left me a pretty reasonable shot here. I just used a little bit of left English there. Four to one, a little bit more power on my brake. Still dry. Looks like you can see that left edge of the 1. Rolls out. I cannot make it, so I'm going to try to bank it. And then just leave the cue ball kind of by the 9. Just go straight up table. I hit it 2 full. If I hit it thinner, the 1 wouldn't have gone as far, and the cue ball would have went further. He's playing the bank shot here. Maybe it was a safety. Couldn't really tell if the 1 went past the 6. So I'm going to use right English here and try to cut the 1 and then go between the 8 and the 3. I hit it too full. Now I think rail first and playing for the bank is the right shot offensively. Kind of don't want to be underneath it to play safe. I'd like to rather be in the middle of the table, off the rail. Like that angle was good, just more speed. Gives you more options to come back down below the 9. Yeah, playing the 2 past the 5 behind the 8 was a good shot. Just hit the 5 a little bit. So now I'm just trying to make the 2 in play to the left of the 3. But I hit it on the way back up, so now I have to play safety. I like kicking 2 rails at this ball with speed. If you make it, then you will come back around for the 4. Pretty good result. So I'm going to try to bank the 3 to the right and then let the cue ball float down over by the 5 and the 8 is my goal here on this jump shot. Hit it a little bit too full. So you just draw back for the 4 in the corner, which would leave you a little bit of angle. So you can go back to the middle of the table or slightly left to the middle of the table for the 5. And then kind of just stay in the middle of the table for the rest of the out. So you're just like tip of left. A little bit short. You can bank the 5 here. It's probably the right shot because then you're going to have a shot probably on the 6 if you make it. Made it. Good shot. Now you just got a stop shot for the 6 ball. Draw back just a little bit if you can. It's pretty far though. So you're just a nice smooth stroke and then just concentrate on stopping the cue ball. It's a good shot. Now I'd like to play this with a touch of inside English to get it to come straighter up rail or up to the table. With the slidey cloth, it's a little bit weird, so I might just play this actually either with draw and go 2 rails or just making it. I like that shot just harder. Seemed like you may have hit it a little bit full. So here, if you want to play safe, one option you can do is cut the 8 to the left and then try to bank it under the 9, and then you send your cue ball back and forth. Yeah, just a little bit harder there would have been good. As it is, left's just a pretty thin cut. It's pretty makeable. Just a touch of outside English to help throw it into the hole. And I'm playing the cue ball to go 4 rails back to kind of where it's at right now, that angle. More up by the side really is my expectation. Made it, but bumped the 9. Left enough angle to cut it. Just then, maybe touch a left. Just to make sure it goes back and forth and doesn't interfere with the scratching. Alright, scores 5-1. It's raise break. He moved over to the right side, I think, just now. Makes the ball on the side. The 1 in the side. It has a thin cut on the 2, which I think is a good shot here because the 6 is kind of makes the big pocket effect, and then you can either shoot the 3 in the side pocket or the corner if you get short side. So you can just make this ball and go 2 to 3 rails. Just by hitting it super thin. Seem a little bit unsure of what to do. But yeah, it looks like you're lining up on it now. I don't really see any safeties that are worth it. Maybe if you bank the 2 towards the 7. Something like that, I suppose, if that was a safety. I think I would have probably just went for it. Okay, now I'm going to try to make the 6 ball, I believe, here. I ended up double kissing it in and made the 9, so I got lucky there. Score 6-1. It's my break. Just use more power. Did not make a ball on the break. Pretty good spread here, really. I think I like shooting the 1 in the corner. A little bit of left English to play between the 2 and the pocket to shoot the 2 past the 7. So I don't have to worry about the cueing here as much. That was a good shot. Couldn't really see what you're doing with the cue ball. You must have went 2 rails behind the 7. Pretty good, just hit a little bit too hard. Yeah, shooting the 2 and hitting it super hard and then bumping into the 7 seemed likely. I kind of thought maybe I'd just roll it in and then just take my licks. A little bit longer shot on the 3, but the natural shape that you'd afford it by just being a little bit further away would kind of make it worth it. Plus all the balls that are there you could use as blockers in case you do miss. Got a good hit, made a ball. No good shot here, so we continue. Looks like you can shoot it between the 4 and the 9. If that's there, I like that. Otherwise, I'd consider barely missing the 9 on the left side of it and then using right spin and trying to kick it in the side. Might be too much spin that you need, though. It might not be able to get it to turn up, so I can't quite see. So in which case I might kick it around the 8. Or you can even kick from down this way, but it seems like the 6 is a little bit interfering. Another shot you could shoot is 2 rails, end rail, side rail. And then if you did make it, then you'd end up with a shot on the 4 if you shot that shot. So I'm just going to roll this forward, leave myself an angle so I can go up table. Now this is just going to be center ball and punch, and either a little bit of draw, or if the angle is good to go into the side rail, I'll use the side rail. So I did use a little bit of draw. So I'm just making sure to plan my out here. Once you're in control of the rack, the best thing to do is just stay in control. Remember, we're getting a little bit straight here. So 7-1. Ray dry breaks. So I think I'm just going to shoot this in the corner and just play center ball and low, just enough to punch it across. Not really sure what the best thing to do here is. I can't quite see the angle from the camera. I can't remember what I did here. Okay. So that was just center ball with a little bit of left English, but not a lot. And then stunning it to the rail. And the left English is making it grab, and I hit it really hard. That a little bit too hard. Missed and got safe. I think you can kick this one rail and try to kick it in the side or in the corner is fine. Seemed like too much left English. So the 6 is kind of blocked by the 9. So I'm just going to try to rub off the 9 to clear an opening. Didn't want to hit it too hard to bump the 9 and block the 8, so it was kind of touchy. Sees a bunch of left there to hold it up. Not a lot of draw though. Finally started getting a little bit more comfortable a little bit later on here. Although I did already miss this rack, so. Yeah, I think I'm just going to roll this. Or no, maybe I'll punch it back up. Or if it was a little bit straighter, I might try to roll it. Just punch back 2 rails to avoid any scratches. Score's 8-1. It's my break. Made 2 balls. I'm going to play the 2-6 combination. Just going to play at slow enough speed to where the 5 ball doesn't come into play. If I hit it too hard, the 6 might get out of control. Just wanted to come just a little bit further. Thinking about banking it. But then I like to just try to bump both balls a little bit like this. Got pretty good on it, really. Looking good now. I think I just gotta... Might go forward here, or I might draw. Depends on the angle. I always like to get closer if I can. Yep, just roll to the end rail. So I got a break and run on the last rack.